Okay, solve the system of equations. You have to solve for x and y. So we've given two equations with two different variables, x and y. Negative 2x minus 5y equals 9, and then 3x plus 11y equals 4. So I have to find the value for x and y. We put that into a coordinate. Okay, now, first off, when I look at each side of the equals, I don't have a base variable by itself, so no base. Then it's on to plan B. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use our other method known as elimination. So you write down your other equation, just write down one of the two equations. It doesn't matter which one, I usually just go at the top. So negative 2x minus 5y equals 9. Make that plus negative 5. Okay, now what you're going to do is align your x's and y's into columns, okay? And you're going to add the equations together with the goal of getting either the x's or the y's to equal out to 0. So if I add negative 2 and 3, that doesn't make 0, okay? If I add negative 5 and 11, that doesn't make 0 either. And not only that, these aren't the same and these aren't the same, so we got to do some multiplying. So you put 3 times dots across the top. You look at your x right there and it's got a 3. So you're going to multiply by 3, all of these. Now you also have to do the same thing to the bottom equation. Now to find what you're going to times by, you look at the top, you see a negative 2. So negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. Okay, so 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x plus 3 times negative 5y is negative 15y. And then 3 times 9 is 27. Now, on the bottom, 3x times negative 2 is negative 6x. 11y times negative 2 is negative 22y. And then 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Okay. Okay, now let's realign these up, realign these columns. Now you actually got the same thing, okay? Now you're going to add, but you need one of the 6's to be negative, the other to be positive. So if we just make that a positive, then those will add to 0, but then I have to make the rest of the row opposite as well. So negative 22 is positive 22, negative 8 is positive 8, and then we add. So negative 6 plus 6 is where I get the 0. And then negative 15 plus 22 is 7y. Then 27 plus 8 is 35. Okay, 0x means you can delete the x, okay? Then you make your wall, you make your dot circle. Then you divide each side by 7, and 35 divided by 7 is 5, so y equals 5. So 5 is your y. Now you got to solve for your x, so you insert 5 in for your y in that equation you wrote down. Remember I said we'd use that for later. And we need to take negative 5 times 5. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. So you get negative 2x plus negative 25 equals 9. So times plus negative. So you add 25 to both sides. 9 plus 25 is 34, so you got negative 2 times x equals 34. Now divide each side by negative 2, and 34 divided by negative 2 is negative 17, so x equals negative 17. Okay, x plus y equals 2, 2x plus 7y equals 9. Okay, so let's look at the two equations. Again, you don't have a letter by itself. So I line my x and y's up into columns. Write your first equation down. X plus y equals 2. If you want to put 1's in front, that's fine. Okay, so 1x, 1y. And then I'm looking to add so that either the x's or y's become 0. So 1 plus 2 is 3. 1 plus 7 is 8. Okay. Okay, so you multiply. Okay, so 2, so go 2, 2, 2. Then the bottom, you got 1, 1, 1, and then you're going to get the same thing. So you have 3x plus 2y equals 4. That's what happens when you multiply all these by 2. No, sorry, my bad, 2x. 2x plus 2y. The bottom, 2x times 1 is 2x. 7y times 1 is 7y. Then 9 times 1 is 9. Okay, so add those together. And for those that make 0, they got to be opposites. You make it negative, okay? But those will then add to 0. They cancel out, add to 0. Okay, but then you got to make your 7 negative and your 9 negative. So 2 plus negative 7 is negative 5y. 4 plus negative 9 is negative 5. Okay. Okay, then you go from there. So you're going to divide each side by negative 5. Y equals 1. Okay. Now you substitute 1 in for the y. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. So you got 1x plus 1 equals 2. Okay. So you minus 1, minus 1. 1 times x, 2 minus 1 is 1. And then you divide each side by 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So you got 1 for both of them. You get the same thing for both of them. That's fine. Okay, my next problem, 8x minus 5y equals 11, 4x minus 3y equals 5. Okay, so alright, so I don't have an x by itself, I don't have a y by itself. Okay. So again, you write your first equation, 8x minus 5y equals 11, that's for later. Then we align the x's and y's into columns. Okay. Plus negative, then add. You get 0, 8 plus 4 is 12. No. Negative 5 plus negative 3 is not 0 either. Okay? And we don't have the same thing in either one of my columns, so I need to multiply. So I got a 4 times 4 times 4. Then bottom times 8 times 8 times 8. Okay? So 4 times 8x, 32x. 4 times negative 5y is negative 20y. Then 4 times 11 is 44. Okay. 4x times 8 is 32x. Negative 3y times 8 is negative 24y. Then 5 times 8 is 40. Okay, realign those. Okay. And now you got your same that you're looking for. But you need one positive, one negative. So if you make that negative, that'll be opposite, then positive, negative. Okay, adding these two, that will make 0x. When you add a positive and a negative, the same thing, that always makes 0. Then negative 20 plus 24 is 4y. 40 plus negative 40 is 4. Okay, 0x, cancel that. Okay, divide both sides by 4, and 4 divided by 4 is 1. Okay, so y is 1. Okay, so 1 replaces the y. Negative 5 times 1 is negative 5, so 8x plus negative 5 equals 11. And times 8 plus negative 5, so I add 5 to both sides, that takes you to 16. And divide by 8 and you'll get your answer. 16 divided by 8 is 2, so x equals 2. So 2, 1. Okay, next one, 6x minus 2y equals 1, and then negative 2x plus 3y equals negative 5. So you're solving for x and y. Okay. Okay, so I don't have an x or y I can use as the base variable at this point. So write down your first equation, and we're going to use the elimination method. Remember, this is for later. Okay, that's a negative, so line them up. Okay, so adding 6 plus negative 2 is 4, negative 2 plus 3 is 1, so I don't get 0. And I don't have the same thing in either column, so I need to multiply. Okay, so you got negative 2 here, so you're going to times all these by negative 2. You have 6 here, so you're going to times all these by 6. Okay. So negative 2 times 6x is negative 12x. Negative 2y times negative 2 is positive 4y. And then negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2x times 6 is negative 12x. 3y times 6 is 18y. Then negative 5 times 6 is negative 30. Okay, now you got the same in the x column, but you need one negative and one positive so that they can combine to make 0. So positive, that goes from positive to negative, that goes from negative to positive. Now you can add, and that'll be 0. 4 plus negative 18 is negative 14y, and then negative 2 plus 30 is 28. So the x's are gone, okay, at this point. So I divide each side by negative 14. 28 divided by negative 14 is negative 2. Okay. Okay, so the y is negative 2. Make that plus negative. So negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. Okay. So you have 6x plus 4 equals 1. So you minus your 4 from both sides. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Then you divide by 6. Negative 3 divided by 6 is going to be negative 0.5. Okay, next one, 2x plus 5y equals 3, 3x plus 10y equals negative 3. Okay, so add those again. You don't have a base, so you're going to have to add them together somehow to make 0, but right now I have no chance of getting that to 0 because that's 5x and that's going to be a 15y. And I don't have the same here or here, so I multiply by 3, by 3, by 3, by 2, by 2, by 2. So 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times 5y is 15y, 3 times 3 is 9. Then the bottom, 3x times 2 is 6x, 10y times 2 is 20y. Negative 3 times 2 is going to give us negative 6. Okay, now you still don't have anything that adds to 0, but you have the same here. So if you make that opposite, it will add to 0, but then 20 goes opposite and the 6 goes opposite. Okay. So those add to 0x. Don't cross them out, put 0x. Then 5 plus 15 plus negative 20 is negative 5y. And 9 plus 6 is 15. So the 0x is gone. Okay. So divide each side by negative 5. 15 divided by negative 5 is negative 3. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, so you got 2x plus negative 15 equals 3. Negative 15 plus 15 plus 15, and that's 18. So 2 times x equals 18. Divided by 2, and 18 divided by 2 is 9. Okay.